Hey there everyone, and welcome to another Linux video. And I have been saying it for a very long time. No matter what bug it is, you will never, as a bug in a program, you will never ever out-Ritchie the Ritchie. Let me explain. So in front of you right now, I have a browser open. This browser is showing Mastodon. And it is showing Brodie Robertson, one of my favorite YouTubers, and a good friend of mine, being really excited about a bug that was discovered and that we found a workaround for. And I say we because, well, the very next tweet in this chain is actually him thanking me for, doing a lot of the digging. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys what the bug is, how I found it out, and how to work around it. So what is the bug? The bug is in KDE. It's in KWin, Plasma 6. And what happens is, whenever you open certain features of KDE, things like the tiling editor, the window overview, stuff that was added in Plasma 6, and also some older stuff that was reworked in Plasma 6, like the Alt+Tab screen, in some cases, on some systems, whenever they decide to be slow, what ends up happening is the entire desktop locks up. Now, this is not happening on my system. I can spam this and, it works. I can open the tiling editor, it opens instantly. The Alt+Tab menu, it works. All of that works on my system right now, so I'm not affected. But I was. And Brodie Robertson was as well. A few of my other friends are affected by it, or were affected by it. Some people have left Plasma because of it, and some people have assumed that it was just a fluke with their hardware and whatever, nothing to do about it. Just ignore it. But it is not a fluke with your hardware. It is not some random bug. It actually has a cause, and I'm going to explain to you guys how I found it. Now, I will say that for anyone who wants to actually go ahead and report the bug, I've already done that. I've already reported the bug. It's on KDE Bugzilla, and I will have it linked in the description. I provided all my logs and stuff like that. Yeah, it's reported. But if you're another instance of it, I would probably suggest, watching this video, and I'll show you guys how to work around it. Okay, so basically, we can actually reproduce the bug on this system, like right now. We're going to open up a terminal, and I'm going to zoom in, and, everything's working fine. All of this is super responsive. It's awesome. I'm even on Wayland, which is surprising, because Wayland used to give me trouble, but now that I know what the trouble is, so, when you go into your home directory on a Linux system, when you do ls-lart, this is going to list a detailed list of your home directory, and it's going to show hidden files. And if we look in here, we're going to see a lot of stuff, but down here, whereabouts, we're going to see this dot, where is it? Hang on, I will eventually find it. You can see I'm still, still very blind. Okay, so there is this .cache directory right here. Now this is for persistent caches. Think like your browser cache, where you go to a website and it downloads all the images, and the first time that's kind of really slow because it's from the internet, but the next time around it's instant because all of that data has been cached on your disk. That's what the .cache folder is for. And KWin, specifically Qt, or Qt, uses it to cache QML. I'm not going to be able to explain too much of what that means, because, to be honest, I don't fully understand it myself. But basically, QML is how you design UIs in Qt, I think. And for whatever reason, Qt needs to cache QML stuff on your disk when it's used. And KWin uses QML. It uses it for, well, coincidentally, the window overview, the tile editor, and when you hold down Alt, the Alt+Tab key. Hi, Richie from Pokemon. Anyway, so, knowing that all three effects are affected by the bug, and that all three effects are using this QT-QML thing, what I also realized is, yesterday, I moved my home directory to a different place. And as soon as I did, all of the issues went away. Now, what was that different place? Well, if I do an lsblk on my system, sudo lsblk, and we look at it, we have a lot of stuff going on here. We have this dev SDA1, and it is, there's a sub-device on it called vault. This is an LVM logical volume, and this is where my home directory used to be. It used to be on this LVM volume called vault. Well, earlier it was called home main, but it was on this LVM volume. Now this LVM volume is on, it's comprised right now of one physical disk, which is dev SDA1. And dev SDA1 is a 4 terabyte spinning hard disk. It's not an SSD, it's not NVMe, it is a spinning disk. I also have SDB. Now this I haven't messed with yet. It's a Windows NTFS volume right now, and has all my stuff on it as a backup while I still set everything up. Because I just recently switched from Windows a few days ago. I'm back on Linux. But this is also a 4 terabyte spinning hard disk. Then I have 2 NVMe drives. There's NVMe 1N1 and NVMe 0N1. Don't ask why they're listed in the wrong order, I don't know. But these are 2 NVMe drives, and they are both 1 terabyte. One of them is PCI 3, the other is PCI 4. The PCI 3 one is the NVMe 0N1 right here. And this is my boot drive. This is my boot drive, you can tell because it's got 2 partitions on it. One of them is /boot, and one of them is /. It's the root. Then this other NVMe is /home. So right now, my home is on super fast storage. It's on a PCIe 4 SSD. Great. And I'm not having the issues. But my home used to be on an LVM volume backed by a spinning hard disk. And that is when I had the problem. Is when I had it on that LVM volume. Which tells me, pretty immediately, this is disk related. So what's writing to the disk? What's reading from the disk? Obviously kwin is. Something's hitting the disk. This is my reasoning, right? So what I did is I went ahead and I removed my .cache. It's gone. And then what I did is I created a cache test directory in the vault. So on that LVM volume, which is mounted to /home/richie/vault, right? And then what I did is, for good measure, we do rm-rf.cache again, and then ln-s, to create a symlink, and we're going to link to tilde/vault/cache test from tilde/.cache. Right. So now my .cache directory is on a spinning disk. I'm going to open the overview. Okay, this time it's fine. What the hell? That is definitely a spinning disk. Okay. I suspect what's going on here is that the cache is currently empty. So that's not good. Alright. rm.cache. Okay. Or not. What happened there? Oh, that was almost bad. So vault. No, not rm-rf. rm cache. Okay. Let's try this again, but this time we're going to use a different .cache folder, which is significantly bigger. Alright? So we're going to ln-s vault / .cache. .cache. Now right away, you can see things are significantly choppier. Now it's still not doing it. Is it because I'm recording? I am so annoyed. Okay. Well, this is what we call debugging, alright? We gotta recreate this whole situation. Now, another thing that I was doing while I was doing all of that earlier is I was writing stuff to this vault directory. So we're going to recreate that. ddif equals /dev/urandom of equals /home/ritchie/vault /random crap.imp block size equals 4 gigs, count equals make it take a while. We'll go 64. That is probably gonna fill the drive with stuff. Alright? So now I'm writing to that. And if I open a new terminal and ln .cache, there's clearly stuff in it. This is currently symlinked, ls-lart on the upper screen, there we go. Now we're gonna scroll down. Okay, so we're still symlinked to .cache. And we are writing to that drive right now. And as you can see, the hanging has come back. That's the bug. It is having your home directory or your .cache directory on a spinning disk or an LVM volume containing spinning disks, and having that disk be either very slow or moderately fast but busy. And doing that causes some nasty hanging. I can't even get into the window overview now, because by the time the hang ends, KDE has detected key repeat and decided to close the window. This is also happening with Tiling Editor. It just doesn't open. And that's not great. It also happens with Alt+Tab. But crucially, it does not happen if you very quickly press Alt+Tab. Like this. And like this. But if you press Alt+Tab and hold Alt, then it starts to happen. You can see it's quite slow. But this is not nearly as slow as it was before. What was happening was before I was writing lots of files. And so the disk kept having to seek around. That's what was causing it. So I might actually have to update the bug report, but I do say that it is when the drive is specifically slow and busy. But anyway, we're going to kill that DD. And right away... Okay, they're still definitely there. Yeah, they are there. So the drive is kind of very upset at me right now for doing that. But yeah, the moment I RM my dash, or my dot cache, obviously doing that is going to clear the cache, because I symlinked over dot cache and removed the symlink, but as you can see, hanging is now completely gone. So as a workaround, if your home directory is on a spinning hard drive, which, to be clear, is not a bad thing. That is a very valid use case. Even an LVM volume is a valid use case if you want to pull multiple spinning disks together and use all of that storage for your home drive, like I did. And to be clear, using an NVMe cache for the LVM volume in that case does not help. Trust me, especially when that cache gets full, then you're in serious trouble. The lag will get a lot worse. That's what was happening with me. So, yeah. Having your home directory on a spinning disk is completely fine. It's a valid use case. But, because of the bug in Kwin, your .cache directory, if you use KDE Plasma, it cannot be on that spinning disk. So, you have two options. One of them would be to basically emulate them doing RAM caching, and that is to create a tempfs on your .cache and have everything stored in RAM. It's not a great solution if there's a lot of stuff that gets stored in your .cache, or some app uses it improperly for some reason and treats it as persistent storage. Like if a save game goes in there for some reason, the moment you reboot, you're fucked. So that might not be the ideal solution, and I'm not going to do that. But in cases where maybe you only have a spinning disk, or you don't have room on your NVMe, or something like that, then maybe you don't want to, or maybe you don't want to do the other option, and instead the tempfs will be what you need to do. The other workaround you have is to do what I'm doing. Store your home directory on NVMe, or an SSD. Now, if you don't have a lot of space on your SSD, then that's okay. All that matters is the .cache directory is on it, so you can use a symlink to do that. For example, if I wanted to get it onto my /root, what I would have to do is I would need to make a directory /Ritchie cache in the root, and I'd need to chown it to Ritchie so we can write to it. Then you could do your rm.cache and then ln-s, and then we do /Ritchie cache and then .cache, and that will move your .cache. What? Linux. Oh, right. In this case, I do need to .rf it, because that's RM complaining. But, there we go. Now my cache is on the slower PCIe NVMe SSD, which is probably not great. The PCIe 3 one. But, if we go into /Ritchie cache, we should be able to ls it, and it'll be empty, probably. But, you know, if we open that tiling editor, you'll see there is a Kwin folder in there now that was not in there earlier. But you also saw there's no lag. So, yeah, that works. NVMe for the .cache is absolutely vital. You could probably even just do .cache/Kwin and put that on your NVMe, and then you'd be fine. Or make that a tempfs. But either way, those are your workarounds, is to either get the entire home directory off your spinning disk. No, that's not the workaround. That's just the best case for you to do. The two workarounds are you either use a tempfs for that cache directory, so that it's stored in RAM, which will be the fastest possible, or you make sure you symlink it to a faster drive, and then it will be significantly better, if not perfect. So yeah, that is the most troublingly difficult bug I have ever had to find in KDE. Well, it's the second bug I've had to find in KDE, but still, it's worse than any one I've ever had to find in Socially Distant, well, I'll tell you that much. And you know what? Brodie Robertson is not crazy. KDE actually does stutter. His home directory was on a spinning disk, and unfortunately, that is problematic for Kwin. So yeah. I'm glad that I figured that out for my system and for his, and for anyone else having that bug. That's what you have to do for now. Obviously, the best case scenario is KDE fixes the issue, or Qt fixes the issue, but obviously that has to be done first before you can take advantage of it. So hopefully those workarounds help for you. Anyway, remember, bugs, you don't out-Richie the Richie. It's just not possible. You can't do it. And as always, hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have been Michael, even though everyone calls me Richie. And if you enjoy what I do, a subscription would mean a lot. We've been gaining a lot since Tech Over Tea. Like, I quadrupled in sub count, which is awesome. And also, if you enjoy what I do and want to support me, then there's the Patreon, which is linked in the description. I'm a little bit under the influence of a migraine right now, so this outro isn't flowing well, but I hope you learned something. I've been Michael, even though everyone calls me Richie, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, I'm back on Linux, and I don't have access to my Stream Deck, so there's that meme again. You know, me clicking this big blue button that should really be red. You know, the stop recording button, because I don't have the Stream Deck. Anyway.